Thank you so much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's quite a moment for us here at Wikidia Institute. Just got many questions regards to the first mover advantage and first scalar advantage. I understand that in most cases, most of our members are used to first mover advantage, that if you get into the market first, that you have the propensity of having success because, of course, you pick the best customer, you pick the best everything because you are the first. Yes, but I made it clear that just being the first does not really guarantee any sustained success. What really guarantees us sustained success is the ability for us to be the first scaler. The first scalar advantage basically says that in digital companies, especially, that because of the continuing oppositive effect of network effects, the person or the organization which attains the highest level of scale is going to be the one that wins. And that highest level of scale is basically talking about economies of scale. Because if you have economies of scale, your unit economics improves. And if your unit economics improve, your marginal cost efficiency goes very, very well. And if that marginal cost efficiency is high, it means that you are actually going to serve your customers at a very better positioning. So being the first is not just good enough. You have to also be the first that will scale. And if you look at athletics, Usain Bolt is never usually the first person that takes off. But over time, he's the one that scales best. So he's not a first mover, but he is always the best scaler. So what that tells you that if you see a business as a race in a continuum, it is the guy who scales really, really, really best is going to be the winner and not just the guy that begins first. Of course, we are not saying that being the first mover does not guarantee you advantage. Of course, it gives you a temporal monopoly because you are the first. Possibly you have pioneered a new basis of competition that makes it possible that you are doing something that is orthogonal from what every other person is doing. That means that you've really done something great. But if you do not have the capacity to actually scale massively, you are going to lose your position in the market. So, should an organization ride on both sides, looking at the technology led and market led models? It depends on the organization. If you are in the tech space, let's say, for instance, you are Facebook trying to go into the metaverse, you are going to drive everything through technology. And technology has to exist before that opportunity will come. So they are going to spend billions of dollars to build a metaverse technology, hoping that that can stimulate the demand for that technology. So you have to drive through tech. Then let's also assume that in this COVID era, what we have here is that there is a market problem. Market is driving, but the technology may not be there. So get back 2 years ago when COVID just struck. So the market was there. People needed vaccines so that they could live. So what happened? The market provided the opportunity. It was moving very, very fast. And then technology now followed. So you cannot say it is all tech or all market. It depends on the scenario. So your organization has to look at your capability. You have to look at what you are so good in doing and look at the market dynamics to know how you can. Can you play both? Of course, you can play both. But always be very, very sure that when you're trying to manage many factors at the same time, you can actually trip. So, what is your advice for startup in this scenario? I always maintain that it's very, very good, especially for startups in Africa, because of the limited resources we have. Always go for a clear market where you can see opportunities instead of trying to create something technologically and hope that the market will now come for it. Because you may not have the resources to sustain that momentum before the market begins to come and then give you the resources through revenue that you need. So you go, you look at the market, you see the market, you go and build a product for it. Instead of you go and create the technology and hope that the market will come. Why? Because most times, if the market, which basically is a customer, does not respond, you're in trouble. The best investors in the world are customers. That's it. Unless you can get those investors to invest in your business, you have no future. Because even when the venture capital firms are giving you money, the real investors are the customers. So anytime you are thinking of anything in this entrepreneurial capitalist world, you have to ask yourself, are the real investors going to pay? If they are not paying or they are not going to pay, you have no mission at all. So I will continue for us to deepen this conversation, and I'm very confident that we will see the real value that temporal monopoly does not guarantee sustained monopoly. You have to scale first so that you become the category king in that particular sector. Thank you.